Well, Tim, it's for infrastructure upgrades, many of which would go to this elementary school, which is nearly 100 years old. And the superintendent says that if the bond doesn't pass, the district might shut down the district. In the town of Gervais, population 2,500, life?
We don't want to go anywhere else. We love it here.
Revolves around school.
It means kind of the world.
Christina Leimbach has 2 kids at Gervais Elementary in long family ties.
My husband's grandma came, she graduated in 1955.
And since 1955 and decades before, the school's hardly changed.
We need all new electrical panels.
And stagnation is catching up.
This radiator system is throughout the entire building, and so we've had to create these wooden barriers.
Gervais still uses radiator systems that could burn kids if not for these barriers.
Hello.
And for years, Superintendent Dandy Stevens has been trying to change that. And other things too.
This is the boiler room.
A boiler room that needs replacing.
And it is completely inefficient.
And roofs that leak.
So if you look up here, you can see this piece of plywood over the ceiling.
Or worse.
This was installed in an attempt to keep the roof off of the floor.
The problem? The district can't afford to fix structural issues unless they pass a bond measure, a measure that's failed 8 straight times. Though this time, implications are dire.
So if the bond doesn't pass, the school board is fully committed to moving forward with closure and consolidation.
Meaning 870 kids at Gervais would have to go to the surrounding 5 districts.
I can't imagine them anywhere else.
And Gervais hasn't been able to pass a bond since 1990 because many don't want to pay the additional tax, around $300 a year for the average home. Though if students are absorbed by other districts, residents would have to pay higher school taxes than the proposed bond.
So it would be really heartbreaking for that to happen.
And bad for staff, too.
It would mean that most of us will lose our jobs.
Jobs in schools at the heart of this small town.
This is Gervais.
And while the district tries to stay afloat, it's important to note that they're not having general fund issues. The problem is they can't dive into that pot of money to solve this issue. And of course, if they're not able to pass that bond, students would go to surrounding districts, some of which, like Salem, Keizer, and Silverton, are actively cutting their budgets because they're at a deficit right now. For Silverton, Salem Keizer is hoping to cut $30 million. So these students could go to those districts, even though those districts are also at the same time facing their own problems. Tim, Stephanie.
Thomas, thanks a lot.